I know you think it works like that.
Okay, can we get back to Naveen?
All right. So now it's story time. All right, you can tell us any story you want.
Well,
there you go.
I have a lot of stories.
Okay.
Most of them I can't repeat
Because your kids are going
Top
to be watching
secret.
this episode.
But there's one story that they know, and to give it a little bit of context, it involves my dad. You have to understand, my dad was nuts, right? So in a little context for him, when I was in college, I didn't turn 21 until senior year, but there's a rule where if your parents came and took you out, they could hand you a drink at the bar. What? They could order a drink and hand it to you. So he would come out every weekend and take me out to the bar.
Are you serious?
What?
Yeah.
Wait, where you lived here
in Ohio?
Ohio.
In
I was
Ohio,
like, that
you
was
could do
here in
that.
California?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So this is just context to understand my dad. So one night we're out, my dad was hammered, and this girl was flirting with me. I used to have an earring. This girl was flirting with me, and she goes, "I love a guy with an earring." And my dad leans over and goes, "I have an earring on my dick." So
Oh my god.
that's the context.
But you had to
So
let
that
your
was
dad
his
say
dad
that.
even
You had to
know.
let your dad say that because he was buying you drinks.
Because he was buying me drinks.
Exactly. Okay, cool.
And he was cock blocking. So this was right after that. Soon after, I was working in a movie theater, and he came over and had been drinking, and he came to like cool off and sit in a movie, and then he left. And when he left, he got pulled over by the cops and ended up getting a DUI. Right. So a few weeks later or whatever, when he had to go to court, he was going to defend himself. He didn't want to hire a lawyer.
I got this.
He was going to defend himself, and he had no concept or clue about what to do. And he just said, I was going to be his witness, right? Right. And he didn't prep me at all.
He got a DUI and didn't prep you.
Didn't prep me.
Okay.
Right? I wasn't there when he got the DUI. I was still working. So he had gotten a DUI. He just came to the movie theater and left and got a DUI. But I was supposed to be his witness. So he first of all, we arrive at the court. He goes up to the clerk. He's like, I need all the paperwork from the opposing side. And she's like, sir, you need to get that like weeks ahead of time. You can't show up the day of court. He's like, I don't need it anyways.
Okay.
So when we went to court, they sequester me. They put me in another room. I couldn't hear what was going on. They had asked him a bunch of questions, right? And he hadn't prepped me. So then he brings me up, right?
Oh, this is going to be funny.
I gotta move this chair. So he brings me up, and I'm gonna do this so you can still see it on the camera. But I'm sitting on the witness stand. He goes, Naveed. He was really dramatic. Naveed, what do you see here?
Wait, what?
He's doing this, and I was like, what? By the way, in front of the prosecutor, the judge, everybody, right? He's like, what do you see here? I was like, your hand? And he's like, arthritis.
What?
He goes, you know that I played football, varsity football at St. Francis Sales High School in 1962, and I got really banged up, and therefore I cannot walk a straight line.
What?
And I was like,
Blamed on
and I started to piece
arthritis.
together like, okay, you can't walk a straight line, like that's why I can, right? But I'm like, okay, and he's like, and that's why I could not walk a straight line for the police. And I was like, okay, right? So then I go sit down, and the prosecutor, this is like an hour outside the town that he grew up in, right? The prosecutor asks him to come back. The prosecutor asks my dad to come back up to the witness stand. And he goes, Mr. McAlargy, you testified that you played varsity football at St. Francis High School in 1962 and you got banged up. That is why you cannot walk a straight line. And he's like, that is correct. And the prosecutor goes, Mr. McAlargy, would it surprise you if I told you that I played varsity football at St. Francis High School in 1962 and you were not on the team?
Oh, no. Seriously, did that happen?
My dad looks at me, he's like, what's your name? And he
What
said
are
his
the
name.
fucking
And he goes,
odds?
oh, hey, how are you?
Oh, my God. What are the odds?
Right? What are the
So-
odds? Yeah, it was fucking hilarious. I just remember sitting there going, oh, holy shit.
So what happened? They
Oh,
did.
my God.
It got even better.
Wait,
by
was
the
it
way.
real, though, or was he fucking around? Like,
No,
he
it was real.
telling the
There was a
truth?
guy that went to high school with my dad.
Oh, my God.
Oh my.
Yeah. and played football.
Fucking hilarious.
But he had part of his testimony was that he had had a few drinks at lunch, came to the movie, and then left. Right,
Okay.
so he was sober, but had admitted to having a few drinks. And the judge was like, "Okay,
Well,
you're guilty. Is there anything you want to say before I pass sentence?"
Exactly.
And my dad goes, "I would find it preposterous that you would find a man guilty who's never had a drink in his life."
Wait, what? Wait, what?
Yeah.
Wait, so your dad said played football and he has arthritis from a hit. The prosecutor comes on and he's played football
and said you weren't
on the team.
You weren't on the team, and then when he was about to get sentenced, he goes, "I never had a drink before."
But your
my
dad
life."
admitted to
already-
going to
after he already
lunch.
admitted
Yeah,
it.
so his dad
So
admitted
he
already
went to
having
jail
drinks
for a
at
couple
lunch.
days.
How long did he go to jail for?
Just like a weekend. I went and picked him up, and he told me how much he liked Beavis and Butthead.
This was his first DUI.
Yeah.
And he had to go to jail for a few days.
Yeah. Well, wouldn't you send him to jail after that?
No, I would have been like, you know what, your story was fucking hilarious. Thank you for making me laugh
I would have
today.
been like, the story was great. So you said it like you've been to jail for DUIs.
Huh?
You said it like you've been. He was like his first time, and he went
No,
to jail.
never. No, but people that have DUI, I know a lot of people have DUI.
You never had a DUI?
No.
Okay. I don't know if that's necessary. Do you believe her?
No.
No, exactly.
They can't see her face.
They can't see her face.
She was like,
no. Exactly. I think you had plenty of. Because the way she was like, wait a minute. The first time he went to jail?
First DUI?
So
No,
that
I'm
means
just
that
kidding.
she's had several DUIs.
Oh, no.
Not,
No.
Did you want to change your story like
No.
his dad?
No, I know a lot of people that have had DUIs
Okay.
and they don't go to jail their first DUI.
No, he.
I mean, that
he
night they
deserved it
do.
after that story.
Yes. But the best part of that is his
this.
head. And you're just looking like you had no idea.
I had no. I mean, I was like, "What the fuck is he talking about?" And then
You were
when
so
the
confused.
prosecutor said his, I was like, "Ugh." Yeah.
We need to meet your dad.
He died, but
Oh, wait. He
I'm
died.
Sorry,
but-
I'm sorry. I didn't even mean
he
to
was
laugh. but
he
the
was
way
driving.
said
He
it-
was driving drunk one. No, I'm kidding.
I'm like, that's so funny.
So funny. Don't do
No.
that.
No.